Hi, I'm Andy from Camper Rent. This is the T-Line 590. I'll be taking you on a tour of the vehicle, so while you're out enjoying your holiday, you know how everything works. All of our vehicles are fully cleansed and sanitised before your arrival, and all of the supplies inside are fully replaced. All of our vehicles come with two main keys. Your main ignition key, which does your two front doors, also your ignition, and it also opens many of the diesel caps. You also get your second key, that does your habitation door and all of your outside lockers. If your key ring has a third key, a silver key which looks like this will be the key that opens your diesel cap. All of our vehicles run on diesel. You'll get a full tank of diesel when you leave us for your hire, and all we ask is on your return, you return it full as well. Your main ignition key will open your diesel cap. Simply open the diesel flap, insert your main ignition key, turn and the cap will release slowly. The key will remain in the cap while you're filling. That's so you don't drive off without the cap being put back on. Insert the cap, turn it, and close the flap back up. So all of our vehicles run on the gas flow system. This means you can heat your vehicle using gas, you can turn your fridge on using gas, and you can also heat your hot water using gas. Now to access the gas canister, simply use your habitation key, turn the handle, and you'll have access to the gas canister, which we check regularly to ensure they are safe. This gauge shows how full the canister is. The gas should always be off whilst you are driving until you are fully parked up. When you're ready to use the gas, turn it on all the way round until it stops. To turn it off, simply turn it back the other way again until it stops. You've also got adapters, so if you're travelling in Europe and you need to fill your gas up, there's adapters here. Now the gas canister remains in the vehicle at all times. You don't need to take any gas canisters out anymore. The gas itself is very economical, so it won't cost you very much to fill up. It's about £15 to fill a whole can up, and if you're out for about 2 weeks, I'd envisage that you'll probably use about £7 or £8 worth of gas, so it's very, very economical. Close your cupboard. Turn the handle so it suctions into the vehicle. Insert your habitation key, gently push the handle in, turn the key, and that will lock your cupboard up. All of our vehicles run on the LPG, and when it comes to filling them, this is where you need to do it. Now, if you're struggling to find an LPG filling point in the UK, most Shell garages will have it. If you haven't managed to find one to fill it up before you get back, we have one just round the corner from us here. Give us a call on your way back and we can direct you. If you're in Europe, most filling stations in Europe will have LPG, so you'll have no issue whatsoever. When you're filling, simply unscrew this cap. You'll have this bronze filling point here. Now the filling mechanism is very similar to a diesel pump, except it's got a locking handle on the top. Simply put the pump on, lock the handle in place, go back to the pump, hold the button down on the pump, it's normally just one button, the numbers will zero, then they will start to scroll slowly. When it gets very slow, that's when your LPG is full. Release the button, come back over to here, unlock the handle and release the pump. Now when you do release the pump, it will make a very loud psh sound. It's completely safe, it's just the pressure being released from where the filling point has reached its capacity. There's no gas escaping whatsoever. Once you've done that, simply put your cap back on, turn it into place, and you're ready to go on with the rest of your journey. Okay, so I'm now going to walk you around the rest of the vehicle. I'm going to start in the garage area first. This is where you can put your luggage items in, and it's also where we store some of the equipment that you're going to take away with you on your hire. So using your habitation key, insert the key, turn the key, these will pop out nice and simple. Once they've popped out, turn them round so they unsuction from the vehicle and the garage will open nicely for you. There's a nice hooking point here, so if it's on a windy day, you can hook your garage open up there. Inside the garage area, we have your ladder for your drop-down bed, your 25-metre hookup cable, your warning triangle if the worst was to happen and you were to break down. We have the health and safety box, so you've got 2 high visibility vests in here, some beam benders for travelling in Europe, 2 breathalyzers which are essential for travelling in Europe, you've got a first aid kit and some fuses in there. We also supply you with a bucket, a dustpan and brush. You've got an airer. The garage area is the best place to hang the airer up. It gets nice and warm in there, so if you've been to the beach or swimming during the day and you want to dry your towels or your swimming costumes, hang them on here and they'll dry nice and quickly. You've got your toilet chemicals in here. You've also got your freshwater hose for filling up your fresh water. In your garage here is also where you can store your luggage. So when you arrive today, before you head off, get all your luggage and bits and pieces on here, and then when you get to your campsite, you can unload and get everything set how you like it. Close your garage up. push the garage in, make sure it's nice and tight. Turn the handle so they suction to the body of the vehicle. Push the handles in and turn the habitation key and they'll lock nicely for you. Whenever you drive in, make sure all of your habitation doors and outside lockers are all closed fully. Moving around to the rear of the vehicle, we have the bike rack. If you've chosen the bike rack as an option, I'll show you the video on how to do the bike rack a bit later. We also have the toilet cassette on the back of the vehicle. Up here, we have the hookup point for your electric cable. Simply lift this flap up here, reach for your hookup cable, and they're 3 pins. So slowly insert the hookup cable into there and that connects in for you. This end will then connect into the electric point on your campsite. To open it, simply press down on this black lever and that will release the hookup point. Always make sure you unhook the vehicle before driving off and then put the flap down. Here we have the water filling point for your fresh water, and again I'll show you how the hose fits in there nicely later on. This vent here, if you've got the heating on inside the vehicle, this vent will blow out warm air. It's actually emitting carbon monoxide from the vehicle, so it's keeping everybody safe. So if this is blowing out warm air, it's doing what it's supposed to do. No gas or air or anything is leaking from the vehicle. It's designed to do that. Down here is your grey water lever. Now, your fresh water holds 100 litres, and as that's being used, that will drain into your grey water tank, which also holds 100 litres. So you'll know exactly when to empty your grey water, and I'll show you how to do that inside because there'll be an indicator on the screen inside. The biggest thing to watch out for when you're stepping in and out of the vehicle from both sides is this area here. This is not a step, this is part of the bumper of the vehicle. If you are in a party which has got young children on it, please make sure you take care not to allow them to tread on here because it is breakable. Okay, so we're now in the cab area of the T-Line 590. When you've got your ignition key ready, simply insert it into the ignition, make sure your foot is on the brake, turn the key forwards and the engine will start nicely. Now this is an automatic vehicle but it's classed as a semi-auto. So whenever you're on a hill you must use your handbrake, which is down to the right hand side, and when you pull away today you'll be on a hill when you leave us, so this is a good test for you. Now to make sure you put it into drive mode, make sure you have your foot on the brake, move it down and to the left, and you'll see on the screen it says Auto 1. Auto 1 is what you want to drive and it's the best way to drive. If you touch it to the left again, it will just say 1, and then you're in manual mode Tiptronic, so you can go up and down on the gears. Try and avoid that, always stay in auto. When you want to reverse, simply move the gear stick to the right and pull it down. That will put you into reverse, and it will also bring up your reversing screen on your main camera here. That looks directly down the back of the vehicle. It doesn't open pan, so always have someone watching your back while you're doing reversing. When you've parked up, move the gear stick up into neutral. That's basically the park in these, and always then make sure you put your handbrake on. Moving on around the rest of the vehicle, if you are unfortunate enough to have a breakdown or there's a hazard ahead, your hazards are here, so make sure you put your hazards on. The cab area itself's got full air conditioning. If you've got people in the back, you put it on nice and high, it will reach the people in the back as well. Most of our vehicles will come with radio Bluetooth, and some will have sat-nav. Use the Bluetooth option to connect your phone. It's very easy to do, and if you want to have your phone on, make sure you're doing it safely. Make sure you connect it to the Bluetooth. The sat-nav again, it's very, very useful, but please use common sense. If it looks like a field or a lane that you shouldn't go down in this type of vehicle, this size of vehicle, please avoid. Use common sense when using the sat-nav. There's also a handy USB point here for charging things like phones. We also supply the Camper Rent Handbook. So there's also lots of helpful hints and tips inside here about how to use all the equipment. So always refer back to that as well as the video. Okay, so we're now going to enter the habitation area of the vehicle. To do that, you need your habitation key. Simply insert the key, turn it to the left. That'll unlock the vehicle. Best way to open the door is place your thumb on there and gently squeeze the door and it will open nicely. What people tend to do is try and pull on the handle and it won't open properly. Just put your thumb there, give it a gentle squeeze, and that will open the door nicely. There's a little grippy point there to keep the door open. Now, when it comes to night time and you want to lock the door up from the inside, all you simply do, flick that up onto red and that will lock the door from the inside. First thing on the morning, When you want to come out, make sure you turn it to green from the inside before you press the handle to open the door. It will open on red for emergencies, so if you need to get out quickly, the door will always open on red. But if it's continuously opened on red, it can damage the mechanism inside. Now, when you're out in one of our vehicles, we supply you with some flyers. Please pass these on to people if they're interested. That way you can get on and enjoy your holiday and you're not disturbed. With every single one of our vehicles, you will receive a Best of British magazine. So when you're out travelling, if you're stuck for places to stay, this is a good book to flick through. Look for the area you're in and find a decent campsite in there as well. Okay, so we're inside the vehicle now. We're now going to talk about the two main control panels that gives you the functionality while you're in here. Up here above the habitation door is where you'll find them. This one here is for your water pump. So if you want to run any taps, flush the toilet, have a shower, you must put this button on here. When you turn that button on, you will hear a slight rumble, but that will calm down once the water starts coming through. This is an outside light, and that outside light is above your habitation door here. This is all your internal lights. You've got various light switches throughout the vehicle. You've also got blue LED running lights. But if you want to watch your television in your vehicle, you also need to have that light on because the television is wired through the same circuit as your lights. This one here is a temperature. Tells you what the temperature is inside the vehicle. It doesn't control any of your heating. It's just a temperature guide. This one up here is your next important one. This is your water. This is your leisure battery. That will show you how much your leisure battery is charged. All of our vehicles have solar panels on the roof. That charges the leisure battery, and the leisure battery also charges from the engine battery when you're driving. The only way your vehicle will run out of charge is if you parked it in a cave, and even then it will last anywhere between 2 and 3 days. Next one down is your engine battery. They've just added this in just so that you can tell that the engine battery is getting charged. We're now going to talk about your heating and your hot water, which is this panel here. It's called the Truma system. It's not just a handy clock, it also powers your heating and your hot water. This big dial in the middle, if you click the button, that brings on your main menu. So your first option here, this is for your heating. The one that's flashing, that's your heating, click onto that. Scroll to the temperature you want to set it at, for example 18 degrees, click it. All you need to do then is scroll across to where your gas and the electric symbols are, click into there. If you're running everything off gas, just select gas, click it for gas. If you're running on electric on hookup, it's EL2. They're the only options you need, gas or EL2. Select EL2, click it, and then you'll be able to run your heating through your electric. We're going to select gas for now. Once you've selected your option, go to your fan, and you've got eco and high. If we put it on high, if it's rather chilly, the hot air will be pushed through the vehicle, through the vents, and it will warm up here nice and quickly. Put it on eco, you just want to take the chill out, it will steadily put warmth through the vehicle. To get back to the main menu, press the back button and that will take you back to the clock. We're going to click back into here. We're going to move across to the next section, which is your hot water. So when it's flashing, click into it. You've got 3 options. You've got eco, hot and boost. If it's first thing in the morning, you want a nice hot shower, select boost, click it. Again, scroll across to your gas and your electric panel. Click the button again. If you're on gas, select gas, click gas. If you're running on electric on hookup, select EL2. We're going to select gas again. Now that's selected, your hot water, it will flash up here. When that goes solid, that will show that your hot water is ready to go. If you put it on boost, it will normally take around 9 to 11 minutes and you'll have a nice hot shower. We've also got a talk to us sticker up here, which is really important. That gives us our opening hours, and it also gives you our out of hours text message service number, so you know how to get hold of us at any time. And all of our vehicles have what we call the Find It sticker. So the Find It sticker gives you an indication to where the frost protection switch is. Now all of our vehicles are fitted with frost protection switches. What that means is if the temperature drops below freezing, the vehicle will dump its water from its tanks and from its pipes so that your pipes don't freeze. That means that you can always put more water in and you can still get water running through your taps and for your shower and for your toilet. Now if that happens, you need to reset it. And this gives you the location of where it is. It's under the driver's side facing seat in the cubby hole. So here we have the frost protection switch. When your frost protection switch has gone, that means your pipes and your tanks have emptied the water to stop them from freezing. What you need to do is find the blue button on the other side of this black box. It's a tiny circular blue button. Push that blue button in and that will reseal your tanks. If this blue diamond looking shaped button on here has spun round the other way, so it's facing up and down rather than left and right, just turn that again so it's this way round. Again, press the blue button, it will reseal your tanks and you'll be able to fill your water back up so you've got fresh water coming back through your taps. Further down here we've got the RCD unit trip switches. If the hookup fails or there's a power cut on the site, the RCD unit trip switches are in the cupboard under the oven and the grill. And it's exactly the same with the gas isolation switches. Again, they are in the cupboard under the oven and the grill. Okay, so underneath your oven and grill, you've got a cupboard down here. You'll find your gas isolation switches and your RCD unit trip switch. When you collect the vehicle from us, your gas isolation switches will look like this. When you get to campsite and you want to use your fridge on gas instead of electric, all you need to do is turn that handle there and that will produce gas into the fridge. When you select gas on the fridge, you can then run it using the LPG system. The RCD unit trip switches below here. If you're on your campsite and the campsite has a power cut for some reason, just go to the RCD unit trip switch and you'll see the switch which is moved across. All you got to do is flick that back in place and you'll then have power back into your motorhome. This is your water. So if you press it once, that's for your fresh water. Now when you leave us today, you will either have between 75 and 100% fresh water inside your vehicle. If you press it a second time, that's your grey water. So that shows that your grey water tank is currently empty. Now when you leave with us, it will either show 0 as it does now, or 33% if we are on a slight slope. This indicates when you also need to empty your grey water. So when this is up to 100%, that's when you need to empty your grey water. When it comes to emptying your grey water, all you simply need to do is pull this lever out and the grey water will drain from underneath. Once the grey water is drained out and it's fully finished, simply push that back in and that will seal your tanks again. Moving on to the water tank where you fill your fresh water up, lift this flap up here. Inside here is a lockable filling cap. When it's unlocked using your habitation key, unscrew it. It will either come out completely or it will stay attached to a blue cord. Then reach for your hose. Now you've got a green flexi hose, the green garden hose. That's the end that will fit nicely inside your filling point. The green flexi end attaches to your water source on your campsite. To know when it's full is that the water will start leaking out. Turn your tap off, remove the hose, make sure you put your filler cap back on, lock it up and close your flap back up. Okay, so we're now in the kitchen area of the vehicle, so we'll talk about the kitchen and the appliances that you've got in here. So we've got hob for cooking on. We've also got an oven and a grill down here as well. In terms of igniting your hob, all you need to do, get the handy igniter that we supply with you, choose the hob that you want to ignite, make sure the gas is coming through, and that hob will ignite nice and easy for you. Hold it in for a few seconds, make sure it's all loaded, and release, and that will keep the burners going. When you finish cooking, obviously, make sure that you turn the hobs off, leave this glass panel up, don't put the hob glass panel down straight away, it will crack. Further down here, you've got your oven and your grill. Got a grill selector and an oven selector, and it has its own igniter. Whenever you are doing any cooking in the vehicle, please make sure that you have this window open just to prevent any carbon monoxide that might be coming through from the gas. So to do that, simply push these buttons in, turn the handles and push the window open. The window will hold in place. It's actually quite nice to have a free breeze there anyway when you're cooking on a hot day. When you're finished, simply pull the window in and all you've got to do is turn the handles and the buttons will pop out to relock the window. Above here in the kitchen area you've got your cupboards for storing your plates and bowls. Now the handles are squeezy handles, so you squeeze the handle and they'll open up. You've got your plates, bowls, mugs, wine glasses, decanters in there. Slowly close them and you'll hear it click. It clicks in place so they don't open while you're driving along. This one again, got a bit more storage in there for food and bits and pieces you want to put in there. Underneath here is a handy plug socket. There's a toaster with every vehicle. That's the point for plugging your toaster in. You do need to be on electric hookup though for your toaster to work, because you need to be on hookup for all your plug sockets. In this area here, It's a secret hideaway cupboard, so you squeeze that button in and open the cupboard. In here you've got your cooking utensils, pots and pans and your oven grills. Secret drawer here is for all your cutlery, knives and bottle openers. And then down here you've got your toaster and your traditional whistling kettle. You've got your oven and grill down here, which I explained earlier. Also down here is your gas isolation switches and also your RCD unit trip switch. Okay, so we're now going to talk about your fridge freezer. Now to power your fridge on, it's all touchscreen. Press this main button here, hold it down, and your control panel will light up. Now there's three ways of running your fridge. You can run it on the engine battery when you're driving, and when you're parked up you can run it on your gas or your electric hookup. Now to choose how you run it, it's all touchscreen. Just press this square here, it will go through the different options to choose how you want to run it. The plug socket, that's your electric. The battery is your engine battery, and the flame is your gas. When you've selected the one you want to run it on, all you simply do, move to the next box. Again, it's touchscreen. Make sure it's on 5 bars initially, because then it will start to chill, get everything nice and cool in there, and it will start to produce frosting in your freezer. If you start seeing it frosting too much in your freezer, just knock it back down to 3 or 4 bars. Whenever you're moving around and driving, you must make sure that you turn your fridge onto engine battery. The reason being is that you can't be on hookup, obviously. You can't drive around with a cable attached to your motorhome, and you can't have the gas on while you're driving. So if you put it on an engine battery, what it will do is it will cool and keep the temperature of that fridge, of what the temperature is when you left. It'll keep it at that constant temperature, so all your food and all of your drinks and everything inside remain fresh. Okay, so we're in the bathroom now of the T-Line 590. Up here we've got a little bit of a handy storage area. We've got more storage up here in this cupboard. We have light switches under here. And we've got more storage in this cupboard down here as well. Through here in this area you've got your shower. If you unpin these brackets here, your shower guard will come across and fit nicely into this area here. You've also got a towel rail for drying your towel afterwards, and this touch light, make sure you've got your lights on obviously. So if you get in the shower and you forgot to put the light on, you've got a nice little touch light there to help you out. Situated in the bathroom area, you've got a handy closet there for hanging clothes up. You've also got access to the outside garage area. Now in the garage area, once you've removed your ladder and any other storage or bits and pieces that you've put in there, you've got panels here which, if you turn these handles, will flip down to make shelving units as well, so you can store clothes and bits and pieces in there which you can access now from inside. The toilet itself will swivel for comfort. On the back of the toilet there is a blue button. The blue button is the flush button. On the back of the toilet there is a small screen. When you leave us today, that small screen will be green. That indicates that the toilet is clean and ready to go. As it's being used, that screen will go red. When it's fully red, that's telling you that it's time to empty your toilet cassette. Once it's emptied, that screen will go back to green. When it comes to emptying your cassette, you need to use this grey lever here to open and close the hatch of your toilet. So it moves from left to right. Once the hatch is closed, you can safely remove your cassette outside. To open your toilet cassette, simply press these 2 buttons and the flap will open up such as that. You must make sure that the hatch on your toilet is closed at any point when you're trying to empty the toilet cassette. Simply squeeze this blue lever and the toilet cassette will come freely out. If you go to squeeze that blue lever and you're feeling pressure and it's not coming out, make sure that the hatch inside is closed on your toilet. When the cassette is released, all you simply need to do is take it to your closest emptying point on your campsite, either a toilet block or they'll have a designated area. Spin this tube around here, unscrew this blue cap and simply pour the contents away. They'll normally have a wash station so you can rinse the cassette out. Screw the blue cap back on, spin the handle round and then lock it back in place so it clicks. You'll hear it click so you know it's locked in place. Very important when you do empty the toilet cassette is that you tell everyone in your party that you're doing so. The last thing you want is to take the toilet cassette out and someone else use the toilet. You don't want to end up with a mess inside this cupboard. As always, please make sure that the toilet cassette is returned clean and empty. There is a fee on here if it isn't returned clean and empty. Once it's all cleaned, simply come back in, open the hole on the top on the toilet, get one of your blue chemical sachets and simply pop that down inside the toilet. Okay, so we're in the lounge area now, which is where you can sit down, have your meals, have a relax in the evening. You've also got your table, and this can be adjusted. You've got a grey lever here. Pull the grey lever, the table will slide, so you can pretty much put it into any position that's suitable for you and your party. We always slide it over and keep it over there, just so that when you're making your way into the vehicle, you've got plenty of space to move around. Okay, so we're going to move on to how the bed comes down from the ceiling. All you simply need to do, you've got an up and a down arrow here. When you're ready and it's night time and you want to bring the bed down, hold the down arrow. The bed will electrically lower down from the ceiling. What you need to do is make sure you get your ladder from the garage area and just safely secure your ladder in place, like so. Make sure you use your ladder to get on and off your bed, okay? When you're finished, remove the ladder and your bed is ready to go back up to the ceiling. Now, if you've got young children that you want to put on one of the beds, there are safety nets under the bed and they have silver clips and they will clip up to the rings on the ceiling and it just stops them falling out, so it keeps them nice and safe. When you're ready to put the bed back up, simply hold the up arrow and you go back to your daytime setting. Please feel free to leave your duvets and pillows up there. They're perfectly safe up there. You're ready to go. All the windows in the vehicle, they all come with fly blinds and full blackout blinds. Here we have the carbon monoxide sensor, which is fitted to the windows in all of our vehicles. It's only fitted to one window, and it's the window above the carbon monoxide vent on the outside of the vehicle. If you go to put the heating on in the evening or during the day, if it's a cold day and the heating doesn't work, please check that the window that the sensor is securely locked and closed. If it isn't, it will stop the heating coming on in the vehicle if you're running it off the gas. The reason being is that the vent doesn't want to allow the carbon monoxide to re-enter the vehicle. Okay, so when it comes to night time and you're ready to go to bed, the T-Line offers blinds on every single window in our vehicle, including the front windscreen and the driver and passenger side windows. To put your blinds up, all you simply need to do is grip these two buttons here, simply slide this across, same with the other side, and they magnetically pinch together, so you've got full privacy at night. With your side blinds, again, pinch these two areas here, delicately slide these blinds along, and they go into place there. You've got full privacy now at night time, and that's on every single window inside this vehicle. Okay, so if you've chosen the option to take the bike rack on your holiday, this is what it will look like when you receive the vehicle. To work the bike rack, simply move these arms up, pull the rack down, and you can start to load your bikes on here. All of our bike racks take a maximum of 4 bikes. Once the wheels are in place on here and strapped in using these straps, you can then pull these levers down and strap in the main frame of the bike. Once they're all secured and on here, we do recommend that you bring your bike locks just to secure them. If you're stopping off somewhere to grab some food or into a service station, the last thing you want is your bikes go missing, so make sure you put your bike locks on. When you're ready to take your bikes off, simply move your arms up, fold it back up so these clips grip this part of the frame, and fold these arms back down. This just makes the bike rack more streamlined when you're travelling around. 'Cause these are the best days. These are the best days.